Hey, it's Anthony Masner with Land Title. I came to bring you your Boulder County First to Know update. Let's dive right into what happened in June. And I think the most important thing here, as you can see, is we've seen a huge uptick in our average sales price, up 17%. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the market has shifted that far. Looks like we're selling a different product type, but the median is doing really well, still sitting at 6.4% above this time last year, right at $900,000. Now, the average close price for our attached product, so condo, townhouse, you can see here up 1.2% on the average, but the median is still trending down just a little bit at minus 3.3%, sort of just hanging in there a little below where we were the last few years. If you look at it by price per square foot, I always say this is a good second check to see what's happening. You can really see here that we've sold a more expensive product type last month in the attached market or the detached market. 11% up, not 17%, but you can see how just drastically different that is than what we've experienced the rest of the year so far. So this should be our high water mark for the year, but cool to see a bunch of luxury stuff go under contract. Condo townhouse price, we thought that 3.3% was bad on the median. This really leans to show just that how much less condos are worth than they were the year before. We're showing almost 9% drop in the average sales price by price per square foot. So definitely seeing some of that shrink, which is not always a great sign. I guess it's all happening because of the supply and demand, right? And what you can really see here is active units of inventory on the market. They're down 15.5%, which would lead to that really strong detached single family home market, right? Unfortunately, a lot of that inventory is attached and it doesn't seem to be moving, which is causing the strife there. But 1,400 units compared to 1,600 units is a big improvement. So this is a much better market for sellers than we've seen before. Now, why is that even possible? Well, a lot of it has to do with new listings coming to market. We're down exactly 100 from this time last year. That's 14% more in that June period. So we just don't have as many sellers participating in the market, which has really shrunk the inventory levels. And you can see that buyers are kind of carrying on as usual, just like they were last year. They're very similar almost every single month what we saw a year ago. So in Boulder County, buyers are just kind of trudging along in this difficult market with these interest rates. But sellers are the ones that have really adapted to the change. And that really leads to 4 months of inventory. It's slightly above last month, but it's on the same trend line as we were around 2024, which is a good sign because 25 was an extreme amount of inventory, but it's down 17%. So 4 months, even though that is a buyer's market in Boulder County, it really has been a little bit better than what we saw a year ago. That's good news for the market. Now, what does that really mean for buyers and sellers? This was really sort of your market activity. It's taken 41 days to go under contract on a home, a little bit longer than it was a year ago, but also, a lot of homes are actually going under contract. So great sign. Now that close to list price is 98.1%, only down 0.1% from this time last year, but also a pretty steep drop off from the previous month where we had a lot more competitive nature in the market. We're clearly moving into the next cycle of the market now. Q3 is always so different than Q2. So definitely keep your eyes on that. Now, what do we have to look forward to? I think the good news is showing traffic is that preliminary number, right? We can kind of look at this and predict the future a little bit because it shows us how many buyers are actively out there searching. Now, with less inventory, 15% increase in showings per listing should be expected, right? You have less competition in the marketplace, so less homes to look at. Everybody's looking, even with the same amount of buyers, we actually are looking at more homes. So that showings per listing number is right on track with exactly where we were a year ago. Not that there's more buyers in the marketplace, but they are, seemingly making decisions a little bit faster is what that 12.2 means. So 12.2 means it takes 12.2 showings in order for the house on average to go under contract. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have any other questions, concerns, please reach out to me. I'm Anthony at Land Title. See you next time.